Hurricane Helene is moving through Georgia right now. This is a live look from Atlanta after hitting Florida as a powerful Category 4 hurricane late last night. And this is some of the first video in from Cedar Keys, Florida, showing the devastating flooding. Storm made landfall just after 11 p.m. near Perry, Florida, about 45 miles from Tallahassee.
Yeah, and overnight, a storm surge hit over 8.5 feet in Cedar Keys. Right now, more than 1 million people in Florida and Georgia are without power. We have team coverage of this historic hurricane. Candace Hare is live at the airport with the impact the storm is having on travel. But first, let's get right to Matt Wintz tracking the storm right now.
Yeah, Isabel, Dave, this was a big storm system, one of the most historic storm systems that hit the Big Bend of Florida. It's been some time since Tallahassee's had a pretty much direct hit from this. And the storm system we mentioned yesterday was just so massive. There are small hurricanes, there are big hurricanes. This was a big one. And the compounding factor to that was the fact that it had fast movement. So you had a big hurricane that was moving fast rather than slow. And so you add that forward movement to some of the wind, it adds to the storm surge and historic storm surge or rise in sea level from this as it pushed inland. This thing is moving fast still, north at 30 miles per hour right now. Center circulation takes it out towards the Athens, Georgia area near University of Georgia. You can see all the cloud action and all the convection has now closed in around that eye wall. We no longer have an eye wall with that, and it's going to start to fizzle, but it's taking its time because it's moving so fast and it was so big to begin with. As we go through time, this will eventually make the curve not just north, but out towards the northwest, and that would bring that center circulation as it weakens back into the Tennessee and southern Kentucky area. That's closer to us, and that's why we'll start to see some impacts over the weekend because this thing's just going to sit and stall down towards our south. In terms of the rainfall, most of it is front loaded, so you get all the heavy rain and then the strong winds around that center, and then the backside of it, not much going on. So we've quieted down from Florida. Cedar Keys sitting pretty right now down towards Tallahassee. Might even see the sunshine this morning in Tallahassee. All the rain heading up into the North Georgia mountains. You've got the Blue Ridge Mountains here as well. And the problem with these areas is that they already saw rain for about a day and a half straight in advance of this. So it's not just this rainfall. They are waterlogged and flooded already. And so this is going to cause historic flooding, especially this area as it rotates north through areas like Asheville, North Carolina. Charlotte going to get hit hard by this as well. Look at all the rain in advance of this. It's getting closer to us. We're going to have to wait for that push that's associated with the center circulation to actually bring rain into the Cleveland area. But the southern counties are seeing some this morning. You can see as we go through time, in Cleveland, we're not expecting rain until later on this afternoon and evening. I don't know, that's not great for plans. We're at 67 in Hopkins right now. Dew point continues to come back up. It went down a little bit last night. That humidity's coming back, and that humidity will be with us for much of the upcoming weekend as those dew points get up into the 60s. Wind will be an issue as well. That wind will be gusty this afternoon. It's going to pile up water in the western basin of Lake Erie, and you look how we may have gusts over 60 downstate. For us, I think gusts over 30 ought to do it, and then they'll back off pretty quickly. So your forecast today, clouds, east wind picking up. Here are your rain chances later today. We'll walk you through the radars hour by hour all weekend long so you know how to make your plans coming up in the forecast. Isabel?
All right, thank you, Matt. It can be hard to imagine just how strong this storm is, but NBC's Jesse Kirsch was live right when the storm made landfall. Take a look.
Seconds away, if not experiencing landfall right now. I can tell you that we have had intermittent moments of really powerful gusts, and we're getting some right now again. Whistling inside the hotel as well. Okay, this is some of the strong, and I want to point out, I don't know if you can even see it off in the distance, but there are cars out here. I can tell you first responders have been saying at 45 mile per hour winds, they were not going to be on the roads anymore. So anyone who is out here, presumably not a first responder, and should not be out on the roads. These winds are really picking up right now. We got some debris flying. We're going back inside.
Oh, man. All right. Thankfully, Jesse and his crew, they just left that. They went inside. Everyone is safe there this morning.
Yeah, thankfully. Wow. All right. Well, we will be going live to Florida in just about 30 minutes. But first, we have a look at the major impact the storm is having on travel as Candace Hare joins us now live from Cleveland Hopkins Airport. How's it looking over there, Candace?
Good morning, Dave, Isabel. So we're keeping an eye on some of those cancellations and those delays. And I have some good news. Not a ton of them going on right now, but I do want to give you a look at what we're seeing. You see a canceled flight here to Tampa, as you would expect there on Florida's Gulf Coast. The other place that we're seeing some cancellations to is to Charlotte. And that's a notable one. Actually looking at Flight Tracker, Flight Aware across the country, the #1 airport that you're seeing cancellations in and out of right now is Charlotte. And we're seeing that here out of Cleveland Hopkins International Airport as well. But if you are impacted by any of these cancellations, any of these delays, we do want you to know your rights when it comes to being a traveler. So we did look in with the Department of Transportation, and these are some tips that they want to offer you in case you're not already aware. So first of all, if an airline cancels your flight regardless of the reason and you choose not to travel with the new plan you're offered, the airline must refund your money. Also, if you were involuntarily moved to a lower class of service, say you purchased a first class ticket, but with the new flight you're downgraded to economy, the airline has to refund you that difference in fare. And note that airlines do not have to give you your money back for non-refundable tickets or incidentals like cost of a rental car, hotel room, or meals if your flight was delayed or canceled. So at least right now, here at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport, relatively good news because we're not seeing a ton of those cancellations or those delays, but that is not the case across the country. We've seen hundreds of flight cancellations, especially in and out of Charlotte, and there are more than 8,000 delays involving flights right now across the country. Back to you.
Yeah, big mess all around. Okay, Candace Hare live from Hopkins Airport. Thank you.